Hello everybody, Sebastian again. Today we're going to be breaking down round 2, day 2 of the women's FIDE candidate cycle. We're going to start with the game between Humpy Kanaru as black and Anna Mazichuk as white. Humpy Kanaru is 1 out of 1. Anna Mazichuk is 0 out of 1. Our next game is going to be Maria Mazichuk versus Li Tingji. Ling Tijing. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I'm sorry if I'm butchering all these names. Without further ado, though, let's quit this dilly-dallying and let's get into the video. This game between Anna Mazichuk and Humpy Kanaru begins with a Petrov defense. And the Steinitz variation. D4. Now knight takes e4, and d takes e5. A very common line. This is something that's very normal. Here the move d5 is played. Here the move knight bd2 is played. And this move, queen d7. This was prep, which is actually top number 3 on. I think this is prep. I don't know. Maybe this is a line. I was not taught this. Maybe go like this. I don't know. But yeah. From here, we get bishop to d3. Knight to c5. Bishop to e2. And this is where I started watching the game live while I was in class. Don't tell my mom that. I started watching this game live in class. And here, she sat for a while and played knight e6 and short castles. I guess this move, in these next few moves, I actually predicted up to this position. And knight f1 here. Here c5 was played and I swapped off for a little bit. I already knew knight g3 was going to be played. And I come back and rook d8 had been played. Knight f5 was played, and bishop to f8 was played. Here c3 was played, and from here, knight c6. And here I was guessing that Anna Mazichuk might play this move. Bishop. Excuse me. Bishop to d3. Sorry, bishop to e3. I was predicting that she might play this line. Not e3, sorry, damn. Bishop to d3 is what I thought she might play. Saying, okay, this is fine. And this is actually what she did play. Yeah, bishop d3. Sorry. Yeah, bishop d3. I was just like, wait, no, I said bishop e3. No, I thought bishop d3 was going to be played. I predicted bishop d3, which was played, but not with the continuation I thought, which was this, and here I was just like, oh yeah, she's fine. No, instead queen c7 was played after bishop d3. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Here, I just stopped watching for a minute, and bishop g5 was played, and while I was gone, knight takes g5, knight takes g5, g6, and e6 was played. F takes e6, rook takes e6 was played, and here I came back. And I remember, if you actually look in on the chat for these matches, I was commentating during this, and I said 95 looks like a promising, is a really good move. And, I just thought, that looks good, right? 95, right? So here, I thought, okay, she's going to see this. I mean, I'm 1300, well, not 13, I'm 1500, and I saw this. I used to be 1300, I just said I'm 1300 so much to the point where kind of got used to it, but yeah, I'm 1500. 97 was played. And not on that account, I don't even play online anymore, but I'm going to not make this about me. And here I'm just like, I even commented knight h4 is a really good engine line. Let's see. Knight h4 was played by her. So I was just like, oh wow, this is awesome. The idea of knight h4 is you have so much pressure on this pawn. After something like queen c2, you're just completely winning. Or hell, even just sacrificing and playing queen h5 also works, right? So c4 was played. And here she takes. And I had to get off because there was a math test. And I come back after the math test. Sorry. To this position. It's like, oh, this is cool, yeah. Takes, king h8. There's check. Here, check. Here, check. Here, check to draw. After one more continuation to draw. I'm like, oh wow, that's fun. So we're gonna go into this game now. Maria Mazitchuk and Li Tingji. So let's move on. E4, E5, knight F3, and knight F6. Another Petrov. But in this position, we got the main line, which is something I here know by heart because I play E4 and I studied this line for an extended period of time. And C4 was played here. I don't play C4. Actually, no, yeah, I do. C6. Yep. Knight C3. Very common idea. Doubling the pawns, and we get in this position. I was not here. Bishop F5. I was paying attention to the Humpy game. Bishop to G5. Here, not F6. Well, you can't play F6 because, well, here not F6 because, yeah, you can't hang your king, buddy. Queen A5 was played. D5 takes, not takes. Queen D5, Queen C5. Queen C5, okay. Queen B3, yeah, this is where I joined. Okay, yeah. I recognize this position. This is where I joined. And I've just watched. And I predicted takes, and this did happen. Knight C6. And here I'm just like, okay, yeah, this is interesting. Yeah. I mean, I was just kind of looking at ideas here. I thought it was very cool. I like watching these games live. And I'm just like, maybe rook FE1 looks promising, and that seems like, sorry, rook 81, that looks promising. You can't take here because it hangs bishop, but C4 here looks good. She plays bishop E3, which is a very good move. Queen A5 here, and here, rook AE1, sorry, wait, what? Rook AD1, sorry. Rook AD1, yep. Queen C7. No, not Queen B6. Queen C7. Yeah, I was still watching live. H3 was playing like, oh yeah, that makes sense. You know, trying to prevent the pin, things like that. Rook AD8. I'm like, okay. And C4 going for C5. I'm just like, wow, this is a great move. I was thinking, well, what can Li Tingji play? I'm like, alright, B6 looks good. B6, it blocks this off. That's what she played. Not Queen B6. B6, I was just like, yes, I predicted it. I was so happy after I predicted that. You don't understand. We got this, and this. This is not the continuation I looked at, but yeah, I mean, I was looking at B6 takes, but here, instead of that, I was looking more, I think, what was I looking at? Oh yeah, I was just looking at this, and you can't play this because of this. So knight d4 is played. I'm just like, alright, yeah, this makes sense. Queen c8 makes sense, defends this. We get this position. Rook d5. And queen e6. I'm just like, alright, well, now what? I didn't pay attention for too long. Rook fd1. Bishop c7. And queen b5. Rook takes. Pawn takes. You don't want to take with the rook. You want to take the pawn to hit the queen. Queen e7. There is no fork here, by the way. My friend tried saying that there was. There was not. because just both defend. A4 is played here. Just trying to play A5 in the future. Get this. Here, Rook D8's played. Queen C4. Rook D6, blocking off this pawn from moving. Queen G4. And I was going for all these moves. And I came back at this position after takes. And here I was looking, I'm like, okay, Rook E7, Rook F7 looks good. You know, either one of these moves look good. And yeah, that was right. And I was like, yes! That makes me feel good when I predict moves. And I didn't see Rook C1, which is the move played in the game, which is best move. I didn't see this. Rook takes F5. Rook takes C8. And here, if you look in the chat, I just say, alright, well, King F8's best move because it keeps King flexible. Sorry, King F7, yeah. Keeps King flexible. And he just said, well, and this one dude said, well, I don't like that as much because Rook A. Yeah, I just said, okay. And then I started looking at the move, actually. I'm like, I said you win the E pawn, you don't win the E pawn, you win the D pawn. But I was actually very much wrong, and I realized that afterwards because there's a pass A pawn. But I realized that afterwards. Rook F8 was played in the game after Rook C8, Rook F8. And I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's a draw position, though. Rook C6. And here I kind of just pressed off the game because I already knew, you know, this is a draw. I didn't expect much. King G2. Yep, Bishop F8. Rook C7. Attacking this pawn. Rook takes D5. But here's the biggest difference between these two positions is the fact that you get this off in time. Is you get Bishop C5. And I realized that. Rook A6. And here, Rook C4 was the draw move. Now, I personally here for the draw. Probably. I mean, you really couldn't play here because of pushes. And can you play here? No, you cannot. Okay. I was confused thinking that maybe you could. You can't because of this. Makes sense. Here, but no. Just keep the game too long. Just, yeah, Rook C4. I mean, we could have continued it like this, but I mean, come on. Don't kid yourself. It's too boring. Here. Yeah, it's just too boring. Might as well just go for the draw. And they did. They accepted a draw. I'll move 42 after... Not move 42. Move 40 after Rook C4. If you decide to watch this recap, thank you. Greatly appreciated. The current score as we speak, Li Tijing and Humpy Kanaru are tied for first with 1.5 and 1.5. Meanwhile, Mazichuk Maria and Anna Mazichuk as well are tied for last place / second place with just 0.5 out of 2. But they can always make a comeback, and let's hope. Yeah. These games today were not the most interesting, but they were still fun. First ever matches I really watched live, and yeah. Without further ado, I'm going to quit this dilly-dallying, and you're going to do something productive with the rest of your day. I hope. Have fun.